Hey guys, my name is Mohammed Afa and this is my portfolio. I've made this website to show you guys my journey in this class. I've gathered my assignments here to show you guys what I've experienced and what I've learned in this class. This class has taught me a lot. I've learned a lot of stuff that improved both my personality and my writing skill. Here, I've organized my website in a very simple manner. Here is my cover letter. It's basically an introduction. I talk about myself, how I entered this class. It was like how my first time in this class was, and how I feel about this class right now, and my journey about this class. Here's my artifacts. I've put my artifacts here. You can access them by hovering over this, and then you can see them like this, or you can just click on it and see the buttons here. So you can click on the buttons to navigate to each artifact. My first artifact, it was on a discussion post, and it was the first discussion post that we made. In this discussion post, we talked about how writing is not a set of rules that you follow. Instead, it's a skill that you learn and you apply to different kind of genres and different kind of to different kind of audiences. Here I give examples of my past experiences in high school, and I talk about my perspective and my thoughts on this topic. Uh, on Artifact 2, me and my friends we made a presentation before, and we had to make a flyer out of it, and the main thing that we did was uh, our presentation had a lot of information in it, and we had to fit all those information inside a flyer. We didn't have a lot of space, so we had to think very deeply and discuss about how we were going to implement this. And we came up with good ideas, and we put them here. I have a lot of artifacts like this. I'm not gonna go through each of them because we don't have the time. My major assignments. My MA1 was about my literacy journey and how one significant event impacted my literacy as a whole. I was born and raised in Turkey. I moved here about 4 years ago, and the literacy in Turkey is much different than the literacy here, and the change. I've talked about the change here. Um, I give examples of what we used to do in Turkey, how we used to speak, how we used to think, how we used to move, and I slowly start to transition into me moving to USA and experiencing a different literacy here, different kind of people, different kind of speaking, and I talk about how I adapted what I've experienced and my thoughts. I've deeply analyzed it and um, write my ideas here. So this was, I think, a pretty good start, but there was a lot of mistakes that I made in this MA1, and with the feedback that I got, I wrote my MA2. My MA2 is much better than my MA1, in my opinion. I think I improved a lot. I've changed a lot of stuff. I've included a lot of stuff. This my MA2 is about certain literacy practice. This literacy practice was. I'm just gonna give an example from the essay. I'm planning the barbecue. Should I get beef or kuzu? A friend of mine asked, and I replied, "Get kuzu, bro. I don't want beef." This conversation is a real conversation that I had with a friend of mine. Um, when I first realized that I was doing this, I was like really confused. I was like, why am I doing this? And then I started to think deeply about it. I first thought it was a mistake because it wasn't intentional and I didn't mean to say it that way. But as I analyzed more deeply about it in this essay, I realized it was much more complex and much deeper than that. And I've defined a lot of terms that we learned in this class to explain. When writing this essay, I've experimented with a lot of different writing styles. I've tried to use a formal tone and more direct tone. Then I switched to a more like casual, more natural tone, a more like energetic tone, and I've decided on that. Um, and this is a draft for my essay. This is a very rough draft where I just put down the ideas that I had in my mind, just put down what I wanted to mention, what I wanted to not mention, and this helped me a lot when I was writing the essay because having ideas on the paper just helps you write better, in my opinion.